Hey, everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. And I'm sorry, I'm texting somebody. Can you believe that? I'm not very professional. I apologize. I was literally sending texts while I'm supposed to be doing the lifeboat, which is shameful. All right. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about a subject that I've done about 50 times on the lifeboat, but it's one of those things that you have to continually do because of the fact that you constantly see new people on the boat. And it's one of those things that I get people that reach out to me and ask me whether or not they're addicted. And I'll tell you something, it's a very silly concept. One moment. First of all, Carol, Klingon Carol, thank you so much for gifting the memberships. So cool. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Also, a big shout out to Clayton, my man Clayton Hollingsworth. Clayton Hollingsworth, who's from Georgia. And get a look at that. Are you kidding me? Whoa, hey. Yellow brain strain down. Huge box of peppers. So in the next little bit, I'm going to be torturing Alan Ballantyne. And I promise you, I'm going to do it for your enjoyment. When I take Alan on the, hey, check this out, I'm really a Scoville tour. We're going to eat some of these. Narcoleptic Chihuahua Productions, 30 days sober tomorrow. Good for you, my man. Good for you. Nice. The lifeboat, official lifeboat participation trophy. And how do you know it's official? Because I said it's official. That's how. Because I said it is official. Steve, good to see you. You know what? I also wanted to do a big shout out to Alma, who is in Holland. Alma and her son. Stay the course. God bless. And you can do this. I promise you. So, Angelina says, I was lurking this morning. For the first time today, I made my bed and went out with my friend for lunch. I love this. I love this. And I do need help. You know what? That's the there's power in the phrase I need help. It's probably the most powerful thing you can say, especially if you're one of us, right? If you are a person who suffers with addiction, the most powerful thing that you could utter is, without a doubt, I need help. And how do individuals know whether or not they need help? This seems like, honestly, I get people that laugh, and say, of course, how could you possibly not know whether or not you need help? The truth of the matter is, for a lot of people, it's not as cut and dry as you'd think. For instance, the number of people that I work with on the regular basis who got addicted to opiates through pain medication, it's one of the largest segments of people that reach out to me are people who got addicted after an accident, after any number of things that happen, surgeries, whatever. But they end up strung out on pills, and you start to the gray area between, am I an addict and am I in pain because I do not have dope, or am I in pain, because I need pain medication for pain, or do I need it because I'm a drug addict? And this is the difficult thing for a lot of people. And then they start to wonder whether or not, because obviously you can get dependent and still need it. You hear that? You can get dependent on pain medication that you need. There's nothing wrong with that. Seriously, there's not. If you legitimately are in pain and the only thing that treats it is an opiate, well, then you need to be on an opiate. For me, people hear me say, I wouldn't want to get on an opiate even after a surgery, whatever. Don't apply that to you, please. If you need surgery, you should get it. I am a really unique case. And by that, I mean, Andy Paul, good to see you, man. Really good to see you. What I mean by that is when I was off the deep end, I had a 6 gram a day habit, 6 to 7 grams a day, every single day. And I really don't do well with opiates in my system in any way. For me, the old cliche among convicts is that I'm allergic to heroin. Every time I do it, I break out in handcuffs. And, it's kind of funny, but there's really a lot of truth to it, because it's going to end every single time. It's going to end with me getting locked up. Russ, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Russ, you get fan mail now at the lifeboat. It's a true story, man. You're getting fan mail here at the lifeboat. I love it. Sharon, good to see you. No, that's a silly thing to say, Sharon. That's a silly thing to say. I'm sorry, but I mean it. That is a silly thing to say. I'll tell you why. Sharon, if you need opiates for pain, then you need opiates for pain, hon, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do not say that. Don't say that. And by the way, if you're here and you're high and you need the stuff you're taking because you're going to get dope sick without it, you still need to be here. And no one needs to ever feel guilty about coming to the lifeboat behind anything. Doesn't matter why you're on the lifeboat. We don't want you feeling guilty for anything, hun. We really don't. It doesn't pay off. It's an emotion that is, it's not productive, especially in this situation. Angelina says, I lost my husband 3 years ago and use alcohol so I can be with him, but I don't want to do this anymore. And you know what? And I think deep down, you would probably admit that he wouldn't want you doing it. You know what I mean? This is a really good step forward. If you're ready to be off, then this is a fantastic step forward. And with alcohol, as I tell everybody, the best case scenario for anybody that is quitting alcohol, right, is to talk to a doctor. In fact, the best for anything, if you're quitting anything and you have the ability, right, it is possible for you to go and talk to a doctor, then you should do that. There are all kinds of bad things that can happen when you quit cold turkey. So please be careful. Yeah, Russ says I was taking between 30 to 40 Vicodin 10s a day, 10 at a time. I went through that. I went through the Vicodin stage. There was when I lived in Salt Lake City, we had a woman that lived at that worked at a pharmacy. And we used to go in there and her boss would basically sell us stuff, under the table, kind of deal. And I used to walk out with pillows. I mean, just these huge, huge bags. It's amazing that you still have a liver. It's amazing that I do. It's not the drugs in those pills, and pay attention. If you're taking huge amounts of pills, please listen to me. The acetaminophen that they put in those pills, and if it's not acetaminophen, it's something else. They're going to put in an anti-inflammatory, usually an NSAID, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, and that stuff's tough on your liver, man. It's tough on your liver, and if you're drinking on top of it, you are beating the hell out of your liver. Narcoleptic Chihuahua says, exactly. It's like people who go into rooms still drinking. They express guilt later and think that they will be judged every time they are accepted and loved. It takes getting used to. This is a pretty heavy process for a lot of people. Charlie Murphy. Good to see you, Charlie. People, that's Charlie Mullins. If you're new to the lifeboat, Charlie is one of the pillars, along with a handful of people like Miss V and Seventh Son that just have been just faithfully here day in, day out. Leisure, that have just been here back in the day when we did the live feeds for 5 people. So love you guys, man. Really do love you guys. Appreciate your patience as we cover some other stuff that is actually fantastic and really has been a benefit. But I do appreciate the patience of the crew. I do. So if you're wondering, if you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, I know I do this too much. But I don't think I'm addicted to this stuff. Addiction is a pretty cut and dry thing. If what you're doing is causing you massive, massive problems, if there are negative things happening in your life and you're continuing to plow forward with boozing or snorting or slamming or whatever it is you're doing, smoking, in the face of really negative consequences, you continue to use it, you're probably an addict. By the way, it doesn't have to be dope. You understand this, right? I'm not just sitting here talking about dope. This is a channel where we talk about addiction, right? We talk about trying to break habits that have a control over us. I'll tell you something right now. This bad boy right here is the biggest addiction on earth today. I promise you, this is an addiction. You don't think it is. Take one away from a 17-year-old. I'm serious. Take away a phone from a 17-year-old and watch them with 1 hour without a phone and watch a kid go into full-blown withdrawal. And if you've ever seen somebody who is addicted to opiates, addicted to heroin, anything like that, who goes into the exact same thing, if you filmed them side by side, you would not know the difference between the two. Phones are addicting. You ever land in an airplane and look around the inside of the plane? And every single person in that thing, first thing they do, right? They grab the phone and we want to check, right? We want to see if we got some likes, right? We want to see if anybody left any comments or commented on any comments. It's a dopamine hit. It's a dopamine hit. And you know what? Phones are excellent. There's so much great stuff that we can do with these things. Honestly, we can do fantastic things with the technology on a cell phone. But like everything else, man, you can get wildly, wildly out of control. And I'll tell you what, if you've never seen the show that I did on TikTok, go back and watch it. Seriously, you want to get the hell scared out of yourself. Go watch the TikTok video. I've done several of them. It's Seventh. Good to see you, man. Seventh says, coffee was really hard for me to quit. I want to tell you something. Coffee's rugged. Coffee has a very serious physical problem when you try to quit. Everybody's been there. You go without coffee and you get that unbelievable pain right in the front of your dome. And you feel like somebody's jabbing hot pokers through your eyes. It's really a tough thing. It is. So when we first start getting to the point where it's no longer hanging out with some friends, right? We're no longer just hanging out with some friends and doing things. Now, all of a sudden, the chemical is more important than the friends. You remember when you first start getting high or you first started drinking or whatever, and there was that group of people that were brand new and you hung out with them and it was a big deal. You hung out with the homies and everything you did, you went out and did together. And it was a beautiful thing, right? It was so much fun. But all of a sudden, people start changing, right? Hold on 1 second. Ooh, Lola says, I couldn't stop smoking even after my precious grandson was born. I was so addicted. Finally stopped with medicine. Now have severe emphysema. You know what? Cigarettes are tough. And I'll tell you what, as far as delivery systems go, when you breathe something into your lungs, it hits you faster than it does if you stick it into your vein with a needle. People don't believe that, but I guarantee you it's a stone cold fact. When you breathe something into your lungs, it is the greatest delivery system for a drug to get into the body. Nothing is better. And nicotine is just the way it works is insidious because it goes in and doubles your dopamine levels, right? You take that first couple of drags and instantly the dopamine, which makes things fun and new and exciting, and well, it doubles on that cigarette. Trouble is, it then tanks. And more often than not, it doesn't tank back to where it was because a little bit lower. And we start chasing that. And it's why people used to smoke 2 packs a day, right? All day long with cigarettes in mouth. It's a very difficult thing to quit. I'm so glad that you did, Lolo. I'm sorry about the emphysema. I really am. But it's a great lesson to everybody. I hope, if you're a smoker right now, this is the time, people. Honest to God, this is the time. If you're on anything, and you know what, Captain Tommy's a buzzkill, right? I'm the guy that comes to the party and tells people that it's probably time that they take a look at themselves. Truth be told, I'm not that cat. Truth be told, I'm not that cat. I don't care what anybody's doing at a party. Our goal is to make sure that people aren't living a life of slavery, and it's one of the reasons that the AA Run channel is is so enticing to me. It's different than addiction, to be sure, but it is absolutely slavery. And the people who are doing it are just as sick as drug dealers, if not 10 times worse, what they're doing to families. So, that stuck in my craw, I was a bit addicted to fantasy books as a teen. I would read under a blanket with a flashlight at 4 a.m. A night before important tests. I knew I make myself derisive, but need to know how the story ends. I think a lot of us were like that. I got like that in prison. I think I told these stories, but I didn't. Once I got the diagnosis about me taking too many shots to the head and all that meant, one of the first things they said was, look, man, stay away from television. Oh, Ben Turner. Used to chew Copenhagen for years. It always smelled awful, like diarrhea. in a wet sweat sock with boiled bacon. The second I quit, it smelled so good. Still does to me. That is one of the most vicious nicotine products in the history of humanity. I was talking to my friend today about this, actually. We had a conversation about Copenhagen. There is nothing on earth that, I mean, it is just a very, very aggressive amount of nicotine and a rugged way to get into the body. People who get addicted to Copenhagen very, very rarely get off of it. My hat's off to you, Ben. And I'm sure it's going to be something that messes with you for the rest of your life. Sadly, that's the truth. That's really, really a rugged substance. And if you've never tried it, let me tell you something. I would recommend not. And to be perfectly honest, it's one of the most disgusting tastes in the whole world. I realize that people get addicted to things in a lot of weird ways, but I don't think even if I tried, I could get addicted to Copenhagen. And if I could get it in prison, which happened a few times, I would chew it because anything that was a buzz of any kind, you know what I mean? Like that was nicotine. Guys used to, in prison, guys will chew tobacco. When they take it out of their lip, they will dry it, right? Even with the spit and all that, dry it out. And then they will roll up the trash and smoke it. Yeah, I'm dead serious. I'm not joking in any way. That's done. And very often they fish through the trash can to get the spit bottles that the cops throw away. Yeah. You got to be pretty desperate for a buzz if you're smoking stuff that's been in a cop's mouth earlier that day. But that is how it goes down. It's only about 8 milligrams per dip. U.S. smokeless tobacco, 1,000% safer than cigarettes. I am not saying anything about the safety of it. I'm just saying it is a rugged product to quit. You know, particularly Copenhagen. People really struggle to get off that stuff. But I don't think there's a lot out there that's not 1,000 times safer than cigarettes. Chewing tobacco is, to be sure. I would never argue that point at all. You won't get an argument out of me there. The two largest addictions on the planet today are sugar. True story. Sugar and the cell phone. And sorry, Seagull. Desperate. Bad place to be. Yes, I'm familiar with the bad place to be thing. Ray says, I came from a very heavily smoking family, and my cousin suffers from asthma. Imagine being a parent and wanting the best for your children, but putting that onto them. You know something, Ray? Yeah, it's a good point. There was a long period of time in this country where people didn't look at it the way that it's looked at now, right? It's bizarre when you think about it, but you would ride in an automobile with parents, and the windows would be up, and they would be smoking with kids in there. But you got to realize that in the very beginning of tobacco, they would go on television and advertise that 4 out of 5 doctors recommend, Camel cigarettes to their smokers. It's honestly, they used to promote all of the benefits of smoking. And I get addicted to any new, I like that. Rip says, I get addicted to any new skill or hobby I am into. And you know what? That is so damn healthy. I promise you it is. We've done a lot of shows on this, but it is so much more difficult to just remove a habit from your life and leave a gaping hole where it used to be. But if you can just pick up a habit, sort of replace the one that you had with a better one, that's one of those that's one of those things that makes the process of getting sober and staying sober considerably easier. And I want to tell you something else, man. We have a lot of normies that watch The Lifeboat, and everything that we talk about is applicable. And honestly, if you don't see that, step back and reevaluate some of the things that we talk about. Hey, let's embarrass whoever this is, because they are known to not call me during the boat. Hello, you're on the lifeboat. Yes. I didn't want to be on the lifeboat. But that's really on me. That I should mute it. But most people that I know not to call during those hours, right? But sounds and vibrate. There we go. Sorry, people. Wicked unprofessional, right? As my friends in Boston would say. Has anyone seen Buddha Davis here today? Speaking of Boston, your cousin from Boston, Jeffrey Canali. I'm having problems with my elbow today, Jeffrey. I hope that makes you happy. There was an experiment where people were put in a room with nothing but a button that shocked them. And even knowing that, out of sheer boredom, half of those people pressed that button at least once. I'm actually familiar with that. It's something that my brother brought to my attention, and it is a bizarre thing, but it's human nature is really an unusual. We were built very, very in a very unique way. We really are. But the addictive process is something that everybody on this planet at this point is addicted to something, and I'm not kidding. There is nobody on planet Earth that isn't addicted to something, and the reason for that is everybody's gotten very, very smart. The people that make the products that you drink make it with high fructose corn syrup instead of regular sugar, right? Everything that they do is designed to get you to come back and consume more product, right? Doesn't matter what it is these days. The people who engineer our food are stone cold beasts. These are people that are really, really good at what they do. And what their job is to make you want to eat more of what they make. It's the reason that, the obesity rate in our country is, in the 50% range now. Food is engineered in such a way to make this happen. And that's one product, right? I mean, one area of our life. Social media is unashamedly designed. Rip says, I have to admit, I would hit that button. I swear to God, I thought the exact same thing. I thought, as stupid as it is, there's a damn good chance I'd hit that. I want to know at least how bad that shock was, right? May not make a lot of sense, but oh, Rip. That is that is really, really funny. I love the lifeboat. I have my meetings like this. I love the lifeboat. I have my meetings for my particular ism, but it is nice to have a daily forum to hear from people going through the shared experiences of addiction and redemption. I love the way you put that, brother. The shared experiences of addiction and redemption. That's beautiful. Honestly, it's the goal of exactly what we're doing here. I hope everybody gets it, right? The process of connecting with people who understand what you're going through. If you have a problem that you're eating too much, you're smoking, whatever it is you're doing, if you have a problem where you cannot quit, being around other people who understand what that feeling is life-changing. I didn't invent this. I'm not, but what we do here is not so much a YouTube channel as group therapy for drug and alcohol and habitual addiction of any kind. The number of gamblers that we have who watch the lifeboat, it is becoming a large enough part of the boat where it probably now would rate a percentage. It didn't in the beginning, but there's a lot of people who struggle with so many different things. It doesn't have to be drugs, but all of us have something that we're struggling with. Everybody. And the beautiful thing is that the cure is the same in virtually every situation. It really is. Identify the problem, admit the problem, talk about the problem, find other people who understand what you're going through, and then start putting together a bag of tricks that you can whip out every time you start to feel yourself going toward a behavior that you're trying to stop or a substance you're not trying to put into your body. It's cut and dry. It really is, right? It's not that difficult to wrap your brain around. Hold on one sec. Okay. Oh my gosh, this blows so much. Says, I'll pop that up there for the whole crew. I'm trying to kill my addiction. Over 20 years of Subutex, which is buprenorphine without naloxone in it. Everybody thinks I can't do it. And pretty much so do I. But I feel like it is my last try. Pretty desperate times, to be honest. Okay. Oh, my God. Here's the deal. What you're taking, buprenorphine, is one of the greatest drugs in the entire world to try to step off of. Seriously, if it's anything else, when people say, I'm just going to try to step off of it, I go, yeah, it's not going to happen. You know, you can do it with methadone, but the clinics make it really difficult. They don't want you coming down. But off of buprenorphine, off of Suboxone or Subutex, it is a drug that you can absolutely taper off. Subutex is a little bit more difficult to come off of than Suboxone because there is nothing in there blocking any of the drug. There's nothing in there playing with your MU receptors. So it's a little bit different. However, if you take the dose that you're taking, and I'll start with as an example, right? If you start with 8 milligrams and you cut yourself down to 4, there's an adjustment period of time. And too often people go to the next step down before they get past that time of adjustment. You want your body to get hip to whatever dose you're giving it. So if you started out with an 8 milligram dose and you went down to 4, leave it at 4 for 10 days. Leave it at 4 for 2 weeks. You know, you don't have to quit this in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. You just want the quit to take, right? So spend 10 days, 2 weeks at the 4, then go to 2 and spend 10 days to 2 weeks at the 2, and then go down to 1 and continue to do it until you are cutting pieces of that film. If you happen to be doing film, or if you're doing pills, you crush it up and put it into smaller piles until you're doing such a small amount that you feel silly. And do that for a couple of weeks. And when you finally come off, you're going to need counseling. You're going to need to be doing groups. You're going to be doing all kinds of stuff to ensure that you can walk away. But at least you will have given yourself the best chance in terms of, cravings and withdrawals and things like that. Take as much time as you possibly can to quit. You do not have to be in a hurry to get off of it. And it is a very big deal to take time. Degraded daughters of Dianetics. I'm catching up on 2 times speed. I'm just here to say now, number 1, that female from the beginning sounds brassy. And 2, nicotine. I feel attacked. Now sugar, buzzkill supreme. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Thank you so much. That is appreciated. Yeah, no, I'm Commander Buzzkill today. This is we really are talking about habits that uniformly affect everybody in this country and in this world, and we're to a point where we understand addiction better than we ever have in this country and in this world. For the longest time, addiction was a debate. People would say, it's a disease. And then half of the people that you talk to and half of the people that judge you and half of the people that, well, you get the drill. Half of those people look at you and go, that's not a disease. They're a weakling. They can't handle the stuff. We can handle the stuff. They're weak, blah, blah, blah. Or they treat you like it's a character defect that you can't control alcohol, or that you can't control pain medication or cocaine or whatever your problem is. If you have an addiction, they treat you as if there's something wrong with you. The truth of the matter is it is a disease. Now, people would argue all the time. This was a big debate until it wasn't, because now you can actually take a look at a person's brain and you can see through a brain scan the difference between the mind of an addict, the brain of an addict, and the brain of a non-addict. There is a difference. That is a test. And once something is testable, right, there's 3 things that you have to do in order for something to be a disease. But we were hung up on the testing part. There was not a test out there that could say that person there is a drug addict and that person over there is not. There was no way to distinguish with a test, which needs to be present. It's why fibromyalgia, although real and tough on a lot of people, is not, yet accepted as a disease. I take these people because I never know if it's somebody in deep trouble. Sorry. Hello. Last chance. Okay, then. We tried. How long do you stay at each level when you're tapering? Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking that question of me. Why is he? There we go. Boy, I disappeared for a second. Kind of freaked me out. Okay. Yeah, I would encourage anybody. Yeah. Sorry. I can get, how easy it is to get lost in the comment section of the lifeboat. For real. We got a group of really intelligent people here that have been through so much stuff and I find myself, that's a great way to put it. Got to get your dopamine regulators fixed. And there's truth to that. There's no joke truth to that. One of the greatest achievements, I think, in my sobriety was learning how to throw the switch on the dopamine receptors without having to do dope. You absolutely can still live a life that is exciting and fun and everything else, and you can do it without dope. It is possible, I promise you, to get the MU receptors to kick you out a little bit of feel good, right? For real, you can raise your dopamine levels doing very, very normal things. Meditation is massive. You would not believe what you can do to the dopamine levels of your body through meditation, right? Yoga is huge. Exercise in general is huge. Love. But I'll tell you what, whether you believe it or not, the top of the food chain, you know who could attest to this? Because this is what she does for a living, is Vanessa from Degraded Daughters. But working with other people, servitude, helping somebody, saying, I'm there, I'm going to be here for you, I'm going to do what I can do, and working with an individual to help somebody through their problems, whether you're volunteering somewhere, whether you're at a soup kitchen, whatever it is that you are doing. This is one of those situations that can flip on more feel-good chemical than anything. And I mean anything. Eric Okerlund says, once you're a pickle, you can't be a cucumber. I'll tell you something. There is truth to this. That's a great point. Don't be afraid to get help if your brain isn't making chemicals too. That's my whole point. Brain chemistry matters. So does heart. You know what? Brain chemistry is huge. And it is one of the things. Try skydiving. Great point, for real. There are things that you can do. I get ripped off the lifeboat on a regular basis. I do. There's absolutely no lie to that. This is my buzz. And I probably drive people crazy because I spend a ton of time looking at my phone, and I'm not doing it. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on, I'm not watching videos. But I'm checking people on the boat, and I'm answering emails, and I'm doing all the things. But this is rewarding to me in a way that nothing else has ever been rewarding. And Sarah, normally, good to see you, Sarah. I'm glad you're here. Brandon Calloway, still sober. Well done. If I'm not mistaken, Brandon, are you at day 56? Does that sound right? 53 or 4? I don't know. Sorry, I may be late. Well done, Brandon, my man. Made up my own therapy. Works for me. I call it the 6 R's. The 6 R's. I'll tell you something. I encourage people to make up their own therapy. I do. I'm sure it makes people angry, but I think you got to get involved. And you have to be willing to accept help from people that know what they're doing. If you try doing this on your own and it doesn't work, seek professional help. They're good at it. And, there's a stigma that goes into this that keeps people from asking for help because people say words like crazy and nuts. And we've been saying it since we were kids. And there's this stigma. I'll tell you what, man, I have no problem whatsoever saying that I am into talking to people who can help me. Super into it. It's healing. I am all about getting counseling, doing what I do here. I have to talk to people. If I didn't do my my weekly thing with Alan, I probably would go insane. Now, it really is a testament to what having the 5 is too. I talk to a lot of people who have issues, and the emails that I read, the vast majority of them are people that are really having a tough time. So it's, yeah, I'm all about reaching out for help, and if you do, your life will be better. I assure you. It's hard for a lot of people, but I assure you, if you reach out, life will get better. Human beings are the only animals on the planet that will poison themselves for pleasure. Think about that. Almost. We certainly do it a hell of a lot more than any other animal, but there are some out there that really like catching buzzes. Squirrels, for instance. Squirrels really enjoy that time of year when all of the fruit on the trees rot. I was in a prison where I could watch squirrels go get loaded on a daily basis. And it's only a brief period of time during the year, but they go and they eat these things and they act like guys. They fall off of the off tree limbs. They fight one another. It's really quite funny. This is incredible. Hello. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a live feed. I apologize. I thought you were somebody. Yeah. Please don't call again. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I'd like to be removed from future calls. I'm terribly sorry. But you know what? I do get a little freaked out because there aren't a lot of people that have my number. So if it comes up, it's usually somebody that, yeah, I just got to check. Wait a second. I have a bit of off-topic question. How do you manage to eat fresh Carolina Reapers? I once had 2 shots of vodka infused with Carolina Reapers. It was an unforgettable experience, to say the least. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing on the pepper thing. Let's see if we can try to find a good one. Uh-huh. I was thinking small. Have I eaten anything yet? When was the last time I ate?
Oh, really?
The key to it, there's actually a bit of a science to this. And the key, in my experience, has been to be Johnny Scoville's little brother. Because if your brother's Johnny Scoville and you can't eat hot peppers, then you're going to be mocked viciously. And since I have been put on the spot.
Really?
Yeah, I'll take this one down. Sorry, there'll be a little bit of dead air, but it won't last long. And how often do you get to see just a regular dude eat a flaming hot pepper on yeah, what do you think?
Good luck.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Oh man. That's gonna leave a mark. So in answer to your question, no, seriously, in answer to your question, you build up a tolerance over time. If it's not eating them, that's the trick. In all honesty, the trick is eating them and not looking like you just ate one. You know what I mean? That's my brother's superpower. I'm not nearly as good at it as he is. I mean, to be honest, I'm just not. But he could do that with that box. He could just sit there and take that down. However, I will pay for that later. You don't see the cramps. Ring of Fire, says the Peace Lady. Is it as hot coming out as it is going down? Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Sadly. Ugh. Oh yeah. Yep, that one's hot. But as I say, the trick is not eating it. The trick is making it look like you didn't just eat it. Let's see. Somebody needs to put up a link. But yeah, please do. I don't know what the link is for, but yeah, it is. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot going in. It's pretty hot coming out. But we have a big old box of them. So, ooh, that was the first burp of the night, and it starts. But I'm going to get, the poker face is a big thing in peppers, right? Like, that's my brother's superpower. There's a lot of people that can eat really hot peppers, but Johnny just makes it look like he's eating popcorn. You know what I mean? And thank you again, Clayton Hollingsworth, for the peppers. By the way, that was lovely. Fresh, snappy. Excellent. Violet says the name of the doctor there that for pain disorders, her fibro guy. Excellent. And again, let me emphasize this so that everybody hears this. Pain medication has its place, right? I can't take it. I'm a drug addict, and that's my drug of choice. But it has its place on planet Earth, and you do not have to feel bad for getting pain medication if you are in pain. That is what it is designed for. That's the reason we have the MU receptor in our body, is so that we do not have to live a miserable life of pain. And I don't think anybody should have to. But here's the great barometer. If the doctor is writing you a prescription for your pain medication and he's giving you 60 perk 30s a month and you're running out on the 14th of the month, it's probably not about pain management anymore. You feel me? At that point, it's not about pain management. At that point, it's about a drug addiction. And we've seen this so many times here on the boat of people that, they want medical assisted treatment. The computer systems are such these days where if you got an open script, you're not going to be able to get on medical assisted treatment until that open script is out. And so many times people say, oh yeah, my prescription just ran out. And then we go in to get them help. And the doctor says, yeah, we can't do anything with you for 2 weeks until you're off of this. But if you're getting prescriptions from your doctor and it lasts exactly how long it's supposed to, and at the end of the month, you run out, you go get the next script, there's no issue, everything is groovy, then chances are you're just treating pain. And nobody should feel bad about treating pain. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. That's not what we're about. It's not what I'm not here screaming, don't do drugs, don't do drugs. I'm here saying, if you're addicted, let's help you try to get sober, live a better life, but I'm not the militant anti-drug person that you see very often doing what I do. I am anti-fentanyl beyond what you can possibly imagine. At this point right now, I'm terrified. Anybody that I care about that's doing opiates right now is in a really, really ugly place. This fentanyl's no joke. And the xylazine, the stuff they're calling tranq, where they mix in this xylazine, this tranquilizer made for horses and cattle, right? This is bovine and equine. This was not made for human beings. It was never, ever meant to get put into human bodies. And that is why when a little bit leaks out, somebody misses, or there's just a little infusion from when you're taking out the needle or whatever, you're toast. It starts rotting the skin instantly. And it's terrible, terrible stuff. And it's all over the United States. And it's killing people. So if you're getting high on opiates and you're buying the stuff on the street, you're not getting what you think you're getting. I promise you. Be careful. They sell and give away little test strips that you can use to test your dope and see if it's got fentanyl in it. And you know what? If you're going to continue to get high, and I pray that you're not, Sarah normally says fentanyl sucks. And you know what? I love it, because that really is it, isn't it? Yeah, Gypsy Daisy nails it right here. I mean, absolutely nails it. She says, it's crazy. They're just trying to maim and kill us at this point. And the truth of that, people, is so out in the open and in your face. As a drug dealer, you do not have a vested interest in killing your customer base, right? So if I bring in dope and I sling it out to the people and I hear of 6 or 7 overdoses, I make the next batch weaker so that I don't kill anybody, which brings heat, right? It gets people angry. It makes laws passed. It gets the cops on you. So you back off and you make a weaker batch. But that's not happening in the US. Every single batch they're catching, right, is getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. It's killing more people and more people. There's no reason for that other than the fact that they want to kill us. There's just no way to argue the point anymore. Again, that's not speculation. Why do they continue to make a product stronger that's already killing their customers? Who wants their customer base dead? People that aren't interested and the profit into this. The amount of money they're making, it probably doesn't matter anyway. I mean, the cartels, they used to have to grow this stuff, people. They used to have to go down to Navarrete and grow a whole mountainside full of poppies and slice the bulbs and scrape that crap off and then mix it in with lye and water and muriatic and all of the crap that they got to put together to, there's Buddha Davis. There's my cousin from Boston. They no longer have to do that, right? There is no longer any need for that at all. Now what they're doing is they're buying this crap from China. It's coming in unbelievable quantities, and they're just mixing it up right there in the sink. Right? They're cranking out what amounts to a bathtub version of fentanyl. Real fentanyl, the stuff that you get at a pharmacy, alpha fentanyl is a stable drug. It's a safe drug. It's strong. Make no mistake. It's usually used for hospice. It's not for normal, the treating of normal pain. It's treating for long-term pain. They put it into transdermal patches. They have them in lollipops, sucker form for people who are in hospice. It's a really good drug for what it's designed for. But that's not what people on the street are doing. This crap, this is analog versions of fent, and it's garbage is what it is. It's garbage. Buddha, glad you're here, bud. And you know what? Buddha was in it. He was in the life. And I tell you this, I would never do this to anybody. If you're new to the boat, I don't do this. Buddha has said to me in letter and form and on the phone, you can tell any part of my story you want, anytime you want, for the sake of the boat. But I do not do this to people. But super proud of Buddha. He was in that life. He was doing fentanyl and he was doing it every day. And he built his own system and has been absolutely amazing through the entire thing. And has been on the boat for a long time. And we couldn't be more proud of him. His family couldn't be more proud of him. I know that because I happen to love his grandmother. She's one of the all-time great people. So if you're watching, hello. And she is watching. She always watches. God bless you. You know what? Eric says the U.S. needs to declare war on the cartels. It's a pretty legitimate thing. And I'm not a trigger-happy guy, and I'm not getting into politics, but I will say this. We're under attack, right? We're under attack. And I've said many times on this boat, we don't talk about politics, but when politics and drugs meet at an intersection, I'm gonna talk about it. And right now, drugs are running unabated into our country, and these are not regular drugs. As Alan and I were just talking about, we were watching the news right before we came live, and they were talking about 23,000 pounds, 80% up, 80%. The seizures, the weight in seizures is up, and you think to yourself, "Oh, they're catching more people." No, it means more dope's coming across. Right? They'll be the first to admit they catch about 20%. So take the 23 that got across and realize that is just 20% of what is there. Bruce, good to see you. Good to see you, Bruce. I'm glad you're here, man. Really am. Glad that you're here. So I figured I would finish this up today with a snot face. Good to see you. Much love, hon. I thought I would finish this up with a story today. Thanks, Buddha. Says, I love you, dude. And she does, man. She loves your brother. I even got her to love Johnny, too, against all odds. No kidding, right? So hopefully she saw me snarf down that pepper tonight. So put that out for the Scovilles right there, man. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm going to tell you about the day that I had. I'm sorry. This has got to be done. So anybody that's ever been to the Tucson area can look up at the mountain range, and there's a place that they call Finger Mountain, Finger Rock. It's the very, very top of this mountain range that's just down the street from where I live. And Alan and I thought, you know what? It's a very cool morning in Tucson. Of course, the reason it was a cool morning in Tucson was because it was pouring rain. But we decided we were going to take a trip and hike to the top of this Finger Mountain thing. The reason being, nobody has mentioned to either of us in a long time that we're really old. You know, somebody needs to mention it on a more regular basis because for several hours today, we tried to talk ourselves into the fact that Perhaps we were a little younger than we were. We hiked a trail that takes you up there. It's a very lovely trail. It's wide and it's got sand and it's lovely. Your foot sinks into it. It was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Trouble is we lost that about 250 yards in. No, I'm kidding. But about a 5-minute climb in, I completely lost the trail. And Alan and I then just climbed up this sort of riverbed kind of a thing, which is kind of like that with big boulders. And about 4 or 5 times we found ourselves up against what is, for all intents and purposes, a solid rock that's 8 to 10 feet high that we actually had to mountain climb. And why not, right? Because Alan's 110 and I'm, in my really late 30s. I'm no longer in my 30s. I'm an old man, but he's a really old man. And as we get to the top of this, and we are really up at the top. I mean, we probably have about another 10 or 15 minutes to climb, but it starts to pour. And the temperature drops like a frightening amount. One of those things that you have to feel to believe, but it probably dropped about 10 or 15 degrees like that. And the wind started rolling in. This was right after Alan Ballantyne from Australia said, what would be easier than these rocks is if we just did that sort of, grassy area, which other than me losing the trail completely was the dumbest thing that anybody did all day today. And we climbed up this right as the rain started and we realized that we're in deep trouble. And as dumb as everything that we did was, the dumbest part was it was like painting yourself into a corner. Because once we realized that we got in way over our head, we went, holy crap, where's the exit? We had to turn around and go back down exactly what we climbed straight up. This didn't work out very well at all. First, I kind of lost my footing on a very large rock and my feet went out this way. And I landed on my butt and on the elbow that Jeffrey Canali damaged viciously in a sneak attack on me while I was sleeping. Yeah, it really happened. I was sleeping on my last day in prison and the cop let him into the cell and he came in and attacked me while I was sleeping and I refused to tap and he kind of blew out my elbow and I smacked it today so hard. It was absolute hell. But that injury pales in comparison to the injury of my friend Alan Ballantyne from Australia. Alan fell down and hit his the left side of his body. Left side of his body really, really hard. And fortunately, though, he didn't really damage anything important because his head hitting a rock broke his fall. Scarlett Cook, thank you so much, Scarlett. Appreciate you. Very, very kind, Scarlett. I appreciate you. Welcome to the boat, Scarlett. And we do give a damn. Oh, got to be sick of hearing that. I'm so sorry. Low-hanging fruit. I'm so sorry. Alex, did you just celebrate my my elbow? That's not right. Mm-hmm. That's hurtful. You hear me? That's hurtful. I just picked up that phrase yesterday. Guess where I got it? He thinks I say hurtful things occasionally. Mm-hmm. Todd Fuller says he's 55. Oh yeah, he's way older than you. Yeah, he's 110. It's not even close. Not even close. No, he's not old. He really isn't. I have fun with him. But both of us were way too old for what we did today. And he really did fall down and break his fall with his head. Took a good shot to the back of the dome. And he has a lump back there that resembles a Titleist DT90, golf ball, sort of growing out of the back of his dome. Yeah, it was, you know how you're old too? When your best friend falls like that and you don't laugh hysterically. You know what I mean? When you're young and you're a guy and he takes a tumble like that, I would have been on the ground laughing. Instead, I was terrified. I watched him go down and I thought to myself, oh, dear God, no. How am I going to carry him out of here? Seriously, the first thought was there's no way I can carry this dude out of here. I mean, and he's lost 150 or 160 pounds or something. He's lost a whole human being. He's not big. You know what I mean? He's very fit, but I'm very old and it wasn't going to work out very well. Yeah, his fall was serious. And now when we're not filming here, we're moping around going, oh, and complaining because every single part of our bodies hurt. We're just old. And tomorrow we're going bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Know it all. No, I'm not concussed. I feel fantastic. Oh, you mean Alan? Oh, no, he'll be all right. He's Australian. Seriously, are you familiar with that country? Everything in that country can kill you. Seriously. Like the bread in that country can kill you. Everything in there is dangerous, including, Vegemite. Better old and so than just old. You know what? I'll be really honest with you, man. I dig getting old. It's worked out really well for me. I was not very good at being young. I was really bad at it. But I've done considerably better at being old. I kind of got that down. You boys ain't normal. It was almost like he was there. No, this morning was not normal. I'll admit that. But then we went out and had an excellent breakfast, which was lovely. I did see Quiet Girl in the chat earlier. She's probably still around. Although it's a little later on the East Coast. And she is a busy girl. I'll tell you a secret. That girl works for the lifeboat harder than she is an absolute bona fide personal assistant at this point on the lifeboat with what she does. She's $1 million. And I do tell her that, by the way. I mean, she may not be hearing this right now because she's not here, but I do tell her. She's fantastic. All right, people. This is sad. This really is, but this is Alan's fault. I'm telling you. He's spoiling the cat. By the way, you know what Alan's been doing nonstop since the last time we filmed? Huh? He's been eating candy corn. Tell the truth, Alan.
True.
Todd Fuller says, yeah, I had a drug problem. And then after high school, and I got scared and I went into the Army and went through there. You know what? That for a lot of people, that really is fantastic. That's I know a lot of people actually that I grew up with in high school that went into the Army and cleaned up. One guy I can think of in particular, and he was huge too. He was very, very large. We used to kind of clown him in high school about it. And he came back, and I saw him in the hall. We walked right by each other. His name was Rob. And he goes, hey, what's up, Mel? I said, hey, Rob. Like, literally couldn't recognize the guy. He had done a lot of push-ups. He really got into excellent shape. All right, people. The cat is not in the basket. However, tomorrow's going to be an exciting day here on the lifeboat. And I am back to the normal schedule here. So I will see the 5 a.m. crew at 5 a.m. That would be Pacific Standard Time, right? Between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody, all right? Much love, crew. Good night.